wants to poke. No, I'm gonna go do what is righteous. That's the yielding part. Yield your members to righteousness. Stop presenting them to unrighteousness so that sin can actually rule over you. We have victory over that. So we don't need to live the rest of our lives to the flesh. That doesn't mean we're not going to stumble. But stumbling, what we really should do in stumbling is learn and take that as an opportunity. That is one of the things which even the world understands. Failure is not failure. What is true failure is when you stop. Failure, you can learn things from. It's the same thing with applying the truth and living out who we are in Christ. There are times where, you know, we try, especially with the sin nature, we try to bring in law, and we didn't take God at his word, and we lost. We manifested that. Correct ourselves the next time around, take God at his word. The freedom that we have in Christ is not to do wrong. Peter also talks about this over in 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 16. As free, so we are ones who are free. Now here he goes on in verse 15, he says, for this is the desirous will of God, that by doing good, and your word doing good here is literally doing those things that are beneficial. Doing good. By the way, God has already prepared good works for us. So the way we actually apply those good works is to live out who we are in Christ, and those works are going to naturally show themselves by doing these good works, that you may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men, as free because we have liberty, yet not using our liberty as a cloak for vice. And this word vice here is wrong. That's your word for evil, doing things that are wrong. So we're not using it as a cover, but we're actually using it as bondservants of Christ. Our life is not our own. God saved us, and that needs to be our proper attitude. Galatians chapter 2 and verse 20 talks about this. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. Having that proper attitude. And again, that goes back to Romans chapter 6, where I have actually been buried with Christ and raised to walk in newness of life. Therefore, the old man who I was in Adam, the condemnation I was under, that's not applied to me. I'm now free to live out righteousness.